The backyard studio is finally functional, but the kitchen and flooring were the two biggest expenses that could have easily blown our budget.
Welcome, y'all. Today we are doing a full cost breakdown for our kitchen, cabinets, countertop, and our flooring, and show you some hacks along the way on where you can save some money.
It's gonna be fun.
Alrighty, so for the kitchen, when it came time for the cabinets, we contacted the same company that did our cabinets here in the house. We got that quote. It was around 3,200 bucks, which isn't terrible, but was certainly more than what we wanted to spend. So we started looking around and we found the pre-made cabinets at Home Depot. You know, they're nice, easy, they're accessible, and most of the time they're in stock. So we liked that for if a renter ever damages anything, a door, the actual cabinet itself, we can replace it quickly. So again, we got quoted for the cabinets alone, 3,200 bucks. For the Home Depot ones, came out to just over 1,800 bucks. So some pretty good savings there.
One quick tip, if you are wanting to make these obviously pre-made cabinets, you can feel more custom or more luxurious, if you will, do fancier hardware. So good places to look would be like Anthropologie. There's a place called My Knobs, and then like Etsy has really unique, fun knobs that you can add. It look more unique and less builder grade. As we're talking about the kitchen, obviously we have to have a countertop. There's a lot of different materials you can use for a countertop. We went with butcher block. It's a little bit more affordable, a little bit more durable. We did walnut to make it a little bit more elevated. And since it was a compact kitchen, we only needed 2 slabs at 8 feet. I think it was 25 inches deep. Ended up being about $838. Whereas if we were to go for like a solid surface or granite, it would have been about $2,000.
Yeah. Pro tip on your butcher block countertops, regardless of the wood type, is you want to finish both sides. It just prevents the wood from warping or prevents it from warping in irregular ways. Okay, your end is going down there, right? We could shim it.
Yeah, I think we just shim it, make it easier.
Looks like it worked.
Ooh. So that's square on that piece of wood, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, our wall goes. Ooh.
What do we think?
Looks good.
Here, not going anywhere. We're happy here. We're happy here. Run.
Oh, nice.
Now we got a basketball goal.
The other nice thing about going with the butcher block meant that we could go a little bit fancier with the sink that we chose. We wanted to have a pretty decent size sink in here because we did not install a dishwasher. So they will have to be doing the dishes by hand. So we were trying to be a little bit nicer to our renters and give them at least some good space to do those dishes.
Alrighty, so now we're on to flooring. I think a good tip here is to start shopping before you're even close to needing your flooring. Establish a budget and then decide if you can afford that budget or if you can't afford that budget. For us, we waited for the major sale and we went to a local store here, and we hit really good. So we wanted to do an LVP. We didn't want to pay for an LVP price, and we ended up doing exactly that. So we went in, and I think in total we got 15 boxes. Again, small build, so you can kind of do a little bit higher end finishes. We spent about $850. The same floor that we bought, if you go buy it now, which we don't remember if that's the price it was at the time, but if you go buy the same exact floor now, it's going to run you at over 2,200 bucks. So find a sale, be ready to purchase, and go take advantage.
The reason we did go with LVP is because this rental is going to be pet friendly. We have winter, like snowy winters here too, so we wanted something that had good waterproofing and good scratch resistance. So we ended up getting a 20 mil like thickness floor, which is really nice for scratches and pets and things like that.
Another quick tip for when you're installing your floors, there normally is a very prominent pattern on some of the pieces. So what's really nice to do is open up a few boxes and see the patterns that are included and make sure that you are not putting the same patterns next to each other, because you'll definitely be able to see that when you're laying it out.
So in total, after we kind of look at all of this, all of the kind of hacks that we use to save some money, we ended up saving roughly around $3,000. Obviously, that's not counting like labor if we were to do that, since we did it all ourselves. But I would say that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. And it's really just a little patience, knowing what you want, and being ready to buy when you need to.
Exactly. Yeah, so be patient, find the stuff you want, and elevate things with smaller touches, especially if you're going to go with some builder grade stuff. You can always add in some fun things later on.
The very last thing we had to do was put baseboards on to finish off everything before we can start adding furniture. We are getting so close to being done. It's so exciting, and it's starting to look like a cute little studio.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. If you found this interesting and you think our cat is cute, give us a subscribe down below. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers and we're so close. So we'd really appreciate it. Wayne obviously really wants you to subscribe.
Subscribe and I can do more woodworking. If you don't, I got to keep working on 9 to 5.
Woo!